Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And what you're looking at is a 1984 Honda ATC200S. Probably one of the best machines Honda ever made. This machine has been in the hoard for a little while, and it kind of pops up and gets somewhat fixed. Not all the way, and it's been a bit of a problem child. It's had a number of issues. But before we talk about the bad, let's talk about a bunch of the good. Let's go into history. A friend of mine found this in a barn upstate near Albany somewhere, and it wasn't running. He managed to get it out of there, and you could see like the gas tank is minty, the seat's minty, it's a little dirty. I mean, we got a little Frankenstein on the back plastic there, but it's really in nice shape. And believe it or not, he did a calculation and figured out that it was worth a lot more money in parts than it was as a running unit, with as pretty as the 3 tires are and everything else. You know, that gas tank might just get you $200-300. I mean, it's absolutely perfect here. Probably maybe even more than $300 on eBay. You know, the front fender, the light, I mean, it's got a little divot there, but it's really, the whole machine's nice. Now, its problems. It's been an intermittent running machine always, and it seems to go back and forth between carburation issues and a loss of spark issue. And if anybody has a really good memory, they'll remember I put a whole bunch of time into this carburetor, and it came out of that as a problem child anyway. So it's time to give up on the carburetor. What's the use having a really nice machine that just will not behave itself? It's got the OEM Kevhin carburetor on it, so you kind of want to keep that. Well, you could keep it in the air box. You could there's enough space in there. You could drop the OEM carburetor in there for somebody who wants to do some future restoration on this machine, and smash a Chinese carb on there, and that way we could at least drive it. This PZ27, you can see it's brandy new. This came from what is it, Temu. Just for a laugh, I wanted to see if they could actually get me a carburetor, and I spent, I think it was just under $15, right? Free postage. I like it when they normally do this painty line thing, because that means they actually did some tuning on the carburetor. So it does have a little bit of a solvent smell. Anyway, let's smash this on there and see what it does, and we might just have to get into some electrical troubleshooting. You know, the nice thing about these Hondas, they were such a pleasure to work on, right? I mean, it's easy. That bolt's already loose. Yeah, I got this running, and I had it on an intravenous bottle because I didn't even want to put gas into the gas tank. You could see, I mean, these are still there, right? The caps for that. I mean, every piece is here. The ignition, the compression release on the recoil. I mean, it's all here. When do you find them this complete? So this thing's going to be a pleasure to work on, but it's also a bit of a responsibility, right? You don't want to be the guy who loses or breaks all this stuff. You want to put it back to the way you found it, if not better. This machine is such a pleasure to work on, right? Yeah, drop the old carb right in there for storage. Taking it apart, right? Spin this out. Take this off. Up she comes. 10 millimeter. 1, 2. Phillips head. Push it backwards a little bit. You should be able to clear it and get it out right through here. A few things you kind of find out the hard way. First of all, make sure the slide slides all the way in. If you don't, you're going to get a whole load of throttle. See how that's going right on in there when you don't mean to. And also make sure your throttle cable is long enough so that there's a little something left, right, that the slide bottoms out against the idle adjuster there. If you don't do that, when you start it, this thing could take off like the Meatloaf song, like a bat out of hell, and then you go watching it scream down the driveway until it lands in the buckwheat without you. So the transplant is done. Everything seems good, right? There's just a little bit of play in that. Yep, all looks good. Now let's see if we have OCD. We have plenty of mosquitoes. I already gave it a wipe, so yeah, the oil looks real good. So there's the O for compression. Ooh, that sounds good. And now detonation. Alright, I want to cheat a little bit on the detonation part. Before I put gas in the carb, not bad for starting fluid. Now what I'm going to do is rig up a gas tank. Well, let's see if this thing is going to start and cooperate. You guys can see I put a gas tank on it, fuel filter, the whole shooting match. Everything behaves. It's been a little while since I've made a video, huh? This should be a downshift pattern. Not bad. Yeah, I got trees falling down, all kinds of trouble going on here. Yeah, not horrible. Not great though. Yeah, I gotta clean up that tree. Actually, I need to cut down the other dead ones before they fall on the power line. Up the idle a little bit. I need to turn it up a little more. So anyway, 1984 ATC200S. My first one, and I still own it, is an 85. It has the downshift pattern. Every time you hit it downward, it goes up a gear. Or this one is a downshift pattern. Every time you hit it, it goes up a gear. The other one has an upshift pattern. Downshift pattern, good for drag racing. You push it down, you hold it down, you gun it up, let it go, hop a wheel and you're off. Upshift pattern is good because when you're going to pull it into the turn, step down on it, which is a downshift, wind it up, let it go, and it helps you get around the turn a little quicker. If you're on some loose stuff or snow, you can break it loose and slide. If you're really good, you can roost your tail some snow into your buddy's face. Always a good time. Yeah, I've been wanting to get this one a little more rideable because, you know, come winter, it's a bear to be outside. Another down tree. It's a bear to be outside trying to put stuff together to do snow donuts. My stuff is a real mess, and maybe some of you guys noticed I've been a little off, missing some videos and all. Yeah, unfortunately, I've had I'm going to call them health surprises. One of my back tires a little low too. Yeah, these health surprises are absolutely no fun. Hopefully I'm done with them for now, and it's just a matter of recovering from the aftermath. I like to tell people, sometimes you got to pay the fiddler for 50 years of bad behavior, and I'm at that point. My son likes to say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.